Good evening, friends. We are live. Welcome to the show. It's day 46 on the way to 100 days straight of live streaming. We are edging so ever much closer to halfway, day 50. So that's going to be a nice little milestone to get halfway through the 100 days straight. We're going to share something with you tonight that I think will be beneficial. If you're interested in live streaming, you could apply what we're going to talk about to videos that you pre-record that you're going to upload later to YouTube, possibly Facebook, whatever. Going to talk about it in the context of live streaming, however. And do want to start, though, the show with saying welcome. Thanks for joining. We're on Facebook tonight. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Periscope. We're on YouTube. Next week, we'll be exclusively only on YouTube. I'll bring up the link here in a minute where you can go find us there. But for now, and for the rest of this week, it's Saturday, by the way, almost 7:30 here in Texas. And welcome again. Want to start out by saying, which we do every night, highly encourage you to create your own YouTube channel, regardless of what you do, regardless of what kind of business you're in, whether you're in business only for yourself, if you're the only employee, you got tons of employees, you're retired, it doesn't matter. YouTube channel, something that can be a great asset to you. Secondly, other thing we mention every night, recommend that you begin to build, manage, and use your own email list. I use ConvertKit. You can go to strammel.info/ConvertKit. The link is in the description as well, and you can get a free account and manage up to 1,000 subscribers totally for free. It's a great platform. It will allow you to segment your subscribers and target your messages to those segments. So go check out ConvertKit. We're going to be drinking quite a bit of water tonight. So bear with us on that. But let's actually get right into the program for tonight. And what I wanted to share tonight are tips for live stream audio. So one of the most important aspects of video is the audio. Assuming that you're going to be talking or that there's some type of audio in your video, then audio is the single most thing that is probably critiqued the most by those that are watching your video. People will give you a pass sometimes on the quality of your video, but if they can't hear it well, and by the way, I hope you can hear this well. I hope the sound is really good. But if your audio is not good, then they're more likely to click away. So we're going to give you some tips tonight on how to ensure that the audio in your live stream or in your video, for that matter, are at their best. There's some assumptions with what we're going to share. It doesn't apply. All of these tips don't apply across all possibilities with regards to the way you have your audio set up, but I'll go through that as I start sharing. So the first tip is to use an external microphone and plug it in directly into your camera. Here's the first assumption. First assumption is that you have a video camera or a digital SLR or a mirrorless camera, some type of external camera as well that has a microphone input. Most of your modern point and shoot or digital SLRs or video cameras, even for that matter, have a microphone in. And so the main reason you want to do this, this is the setup that I have now, and the reason that I take that approach is because you can be certain that your audio will be in sync with your video, especially if you use something like an ATEM Mini or some other kind of device that allows you to split your or to switch between video sources. HDMI has some latency built into it. Sometimes it's noticeable, sometimes it's not. But if you have your microphone connected directly into your video camera, then you can avoid that. So that's tip number 1. Let's go on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to, and all of these build on each other. So this is not as applicable if you haven't done tip number 1, but keep the gain on your camera as low as possible. The reason that is most cameras, even some of the more expensive cameras do not have the best preamp built into the camera. And what that really means is as you turn the volume up on the actual camera or the audio gain on the camera itself in the settings, then you introduce more noise into your video, hiss, various other artifacts into the audio. So if you put the gain on the camera as low as possible and then adjust the gain through a couple of other options, which I'm going to talk about next, then you're going to have better quality sound. So number 3 is related to number 2. Number 2 related to number 1. Adjust the gain if available on the microphone itself. I'm using a V3, a Deity V3 Pro, and it actually has a gain adjustment on it. I'm going to take the time to show you something else that would give you that capability. Let's say your microphone doesn't allow you to adjust the gain on the microphone, and you want to go with tip number 2, which is to keep your gain on your actual video camera down low. Then you can go with a device similar to this one. This is a Beach Tech. I don't think you can actually see when you look at this that it's a Beach Tech, but I'm going to put this a little bit closer, and you should be able to see I've got a left and a right, high and low, right over here. That allows me to adjust the gain on this device. And then I've also got headphone jack, which I'll talk about that in a minute, but headphone jack right here, and then the audio for the headphone jack right there. Now let's show the side of this. So you should see here we've got a left and a right. So the other cool thing about a device like this is you can have 2 microphones actually coming in, and you'll have a left and a right channel. You can then edit that later. If you just have one microphone coming in, you can do stereo, and then where you see the out port there, you go from that to your camera, and now you've mixed 2 audio sources or just one, and you can control the gain with this device. For those of you that have XLR, this has 1 XLR input, so that's amazing. And then the other thing, which I kind of mentioned already, but I'm going to put this up closer again, the microphone input here where it says phone or monitor in and a volume knob there. Now I'll set this aside. For cameras that don't have a headphone jack, which is most of them, or a lot of them, I should say, you also with this device have a headphone jack. And this is going to lead into my last tip here in a moment, but we'll get to that. This one's really important, and I forget this one sometimes, but do an audio check before every live stream. Without exception, do an audio check. Make sure, to the best of your ability, what your audience is going to hear is acceptable from the volume levels, that type of thing. Not much more to be said about that. Just check it. Check all aspects, obviously, of your live stream, but especially the audio. Check it and make sure things are going to be where they need to be. Last tip, use headphones during your stream. Now, this is optional. I do this sometimes. I don't always. You can see that I have headphones on. Let me give you a couple of reasons why I use them. They may or may not be. It may or may not be something that you want to do, but I'm going to give you two. Do my live streams in my office here, and while it's relatively quiet, I actually have animals outside which can come up close enough to the house. Family. We've got 4 kids, wife, doing various different things in the house while I'm streaming, and my room is not soundproof, so the sounds can be distracting sometimes. It's not that I don't want to hear it necessarily, but it can be distracting if a train comes by. I've got 4 dogs that will basically bark and howl until that train is gone. Now with these headphones on, I don't have to hear the train. I don't have to hear the dogs. I don't have to hear anything. So it helps me concentrate on the live stream, and that's very helpful for me. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is if maybe you're playing music in the background, or maybe you plan on showing a portion of a video, or maybe multiple videos or whatever. If you're not wearing headphones, then you're not going to be able to monitor that unless you play it through some speakers, external speakers, and then if you do that, you have to be aware of the fact that you may get feedback from your microphone. So you'd have to mute your microphone to be certain, and you may actually want to talk over the video. So I did a video a while back talking about how you could use the ATEM Mini in combination with StreamYard to play a video, and kind of the example I used is I was playing a video and then I was doing voiceover over the video. And so I turned the volume down, but the video still had some audio to it, and I wanted to talk over it. Now, if I was doing all of that with an external monitor, that could be problematic. Normally, if your monitors, if you're using external monitors, if they are behind your microphone, and if you're using like a boom mic like this Deity here, then it's probably okay, because these boom mics will reject a noise coming from the back, from behind. So a lot of this is preference. Some of it depends on what your live stream, how it's going to be produced, and what the workflow of that live stream is like. So I have my headphones right now plugged into a Blackmagic Video Assist. It's a 7-inch external monitor, basically. That's plugged into my ATEM Mini Pro with the headphones and my audio. It's actually a really slight delay, but I've gotten used to it. It sounds a little bit weird. If I was using this device to have my headphones in, do not believe I would have the delay. This is sometimes a little inconvenient for me to hook up. I'm lazy. I think I will be going back to this, though, because I would like to have the audio or my voice as I hear myself talking to not have that delay. And like I said, I guess you get used to it, but I'd like to not have to hear myself but delayed. It's a weird feeling, but like I said, I've gotten used to it. So what I do want to ask is that, maybe you've got some tips. I'd love to hear your tips on, what you do in your live streams to make sure that your audio is where it needs to be. If you're having problems with your audio, I'd love to hear about those so that maybe I can help. I think the one thing that this shows you, actually, I'm going to pull up while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get on my email list. But where I was going is, if you look at all of these tips, they would indicate that I'm not a big fan of a USB mic. Tons of people have USB mics and they have their place, but if you're going to live stream often and from the same location, those kinds of things, then you don't really need a USB mic. Some of the USB mics are cheaper. So I'll give you that. And I'm going to talk about this Deity microphone next week, but I will show you here in a second where you could get it if you were interested. I actually looked tonight before I started the live stream, 3 different places. I couldn't find it on Amazon. My original link, when I went to that, it's not available. It says temporarily unavailable. The only way you can get it is in a kit that has some other accessories that you may or may not want. I went to Adorama, which is another site where I buy audio and video equipment. It wasn't available there. It was back ordered, and they didn't say when it would be available, but there is a place here, I'll show you in a minute, where you could get it, and I'll share the link just in case you're interested. All of our links are affiliate links for the most part, so just know that you are helping this show some if you use our links, and we very much appreciate it. But back to USB microphones, they have their place. A lot of cool ones out now, but if you're interested in just high quality audio, if you follow all the tips that I've given you, I believe that you'll be much happier ultimately with it. And here's the other reality. Even if you could not plug in an external microphone like the one that I have directly into a camera, let's say you're using a Logitech webcam, or maybe you're using the built-in webcam on your laptop. All modern laptops come with what's now a microphone and headphone jack, basically, and then you can get a splitter that splits out the microphone part and the headphone part, and then when you plug in your microphone into that with the old standby 3.5 millimeter jack, then now you've got good quality audio, good microphone, and now you've got a USB port that's not being used up by a microphone that you can use for external hard drive, any number of other things. So I'm not a super big fan of USB microphones. Again, they have their place. They can be convenient, but this Deity that I'm using, for example, and I'm going to include the link like I mentioned, it has an internal battery that'll last for several days, I believe, and easily charge the USB-C. I can control the gain. As I mentioned, it has a couple of low-pass filters. It's just quality all the way through, and it's under $300. Now, I realize for some people that still is a lot. I completely understand. Deity has some others that are still really, really good quality for like $99. There's the D-Mic D4 Duo or something like that. Let me look, actually. Let me see what it is here. I have this microphone. It is the D4 Duo. Sorry, D4 Duo right there. Now this has 2 microphones, basically, one in the front and one in the back. So there's a lot of capabilities there. Not going to go into that, but it's really helpful. So as I mentioned, share with me, if you will, in the comments, things that you've ran into that were helpful, things that you've ran into that were hurtful with regards to the quality of your audio. And I'm going to go ahead and invite you to come back to the live stream tomorrow for episode 47. And like I'd mentioned, and I'm going to pull up the link for that. If you come on over to YouTube, you'll be, and if you'll subscribe and turn on notifications, then you'll be set up for next week, because we're going to have a really good show. We're going to talk about each night a particular piece of gear or a software of some sort that will that's really helpful for your live stream. So we're preparing for that now and can't wait to get that started. Next week, we will actually, I don't remember what night it is, but we will hit that day 50 mark. That's going to be exciting. But come on back tomorrow. We'll be live again. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Also want to ask you to go up there. I'll have the playlist up there if you're on YouTube, where you can watch all of the other episodes. Start that thing, get it going, and just watch them all. That would be great. That would help us a lot. The link that you're seeing right now is the YouTube playlist. All 44 episodes are in there, or 45, and 46 will be in there here very shortly. As soon as we end this live stream, we'll put this video in the playlist. And you could do us a huge favor. We did a video the other night called Road to 4,000. And the story behind that, real quick, is that we need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers to be a part of the YouTube Partner Program. And we are so appreciative for all of you helping us get there. It would be a tremendous help if you would watch that video. It's basically me being a DJ for the most part, going through some music that we curated from Soundstripe, and we are big fans of Soundstripe. You can see the link now up in the top left, but Soundstripe is a service that allows you to download royalty-free music that you can use without having to worry about copyright claims on all your social media platforms or in a wedding video. Doesn't matter. So it's a great resource if you're doing video. Go check it out. I will also mention, as we wrap this one up, we use StreamYard almost exclusively to stream. We also use Switchboard when we have some unique requirements for that particular live stream, but StreamYard is almost always at a minimum the encoder, if you will, that we use. Even if we go live on one destination, we may use StreamYard sometimes to go live to a RTMP destination that's on Switchboard, and then from Switchboard go out to up to 60 destinations. Go check out episode 16 to hear more about that. There's a special at AppSumo on Switchboard right now that is out of this world, ridiculous, and will not be around for long. So if you stream and you kind of have a vision for doing something grander than maybe what you're doing right now, and want to maybe live stream for others as a service, as a business, if you will, then you got to go check out Switchboard. It's truly amazing. And again, StreamYard's free. You can sign up for free, and you can stream for free 2 destinations: Facebook, YouTube, 2 Facebook destinations, 2 YouTube destinations, any mix of 2 destinations. That could be Twitter, what have you, and you can stream up to 20 hours a month. So for free, that's pretty amazing. So if you are connected with me in any way, you're watching this, obviously, you owe it to yourself to get StreamYard and stream to a private Facebook group that no one has access to practice. But get started, get that YouTube channel created, start building that email list. I can't emphasize that enough with the crazy world that we live in with regards to social media right now. Things are going to change even more. You may or may not know, but Apple and Facebook really have their fight that they got going on, in a sense. Just a lot of upheaval, and what you want to do as a marketer, as a entrepreneur, as a business owner of any type, you want to be in control rather than the social media platforms controlling you with regards to who you can communicate with. If you get that email list, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, none of those, as good as all of those platforms are in and of themselves and how they help us market, there's still some things that you may or may not like about those platforms. And if you choose to get off, if you don't have an email list, then you've lost your audience. So get that email list created. Again, you can go in the description, but it's strammel.info/convertkit. We are going to say goodnight. Hope you have a great Saturday. If you're watching this live, if you're watching the replay, whatever day it is, hope it's been a great day for you. If you're just starting your day, hope that your day is going to be amazing. Come back tomorrow for episode 47. Cheer us on. Share this with your friends. Tell them to go watch the playlist. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight. Good night.